you are all well in this time. As you can see, I have an assistant here that, of course, when I want to start filming, he just lies whenever I want to film. So as you know from the thumbnail he's stealing the show. Okay, so perhaps I will give him something to eat and get back to you. Okay, the kitty is eating, so we can get back to the video. As you know from the title and from the thumbnail, this video will show my way of fixing Earthrise Wheeljack. If you do not think he needs a fix, that's totally fine. I am was personally very disappointed with some of the decisions made, and I wanted to show the way that it could have been done differently with same amount of material, and just to show you that those figures can look better. And not all of them need fixing in my opinion. I think grapple and hoist are okay, although I made some adjustments to them. So let's talk about this guy. So the car mode is fine. As you can see, it's I did work on him. I cannot get him back to his normal state, but this is as close as I could. So the car mode is okay, but I dislike making a cut in the windshield very much. Also, I thought that this was too long, but the car mode was okay. The biggest problem I had was in robot mode. So as you can see, those bits can come off. I will put them to the side because they will I will talk about them later. So the car mode is fine, but like I said, I wanted him to be higher, to have better proportions, and also I didn't like the way his chest formed. So let's move to the robot mode and I will get you through my process. So here he is in robot mode. If you like him the way he is, that's totally fine, but this is a video that I will show what and why I would like to change. So first of all, I do not like the chest and the way that this thing ends. For me it looks like a toenail, and it just I never liked making a cut in the windshield, and also it breaks up the shape of his chest that he's known for, in my opinion. I did not like the way the wings are, but that's not really a big issue. And also I think he is way too short, and I wanted him to be more in line with RTS Jazz, because I really think that this figure is very good. So I wanted just wanted him to be bigger. Okay, so first thing I did was the front part of his windshield's hide in his legs. Okay, so first thing I did, I cut them off, and I wanted to glue them here to see how he would look with the windshield like this. So it doesn't really help that much because his legs are even shorter like this. But when examining the legs, I saw that there are hinges and everything for them to extend further, but as you can see, this part here, if I can bring back this part here, this part here was like this, and it prevented everything from moving down. So I just made small cuts to remove this, and now this is the way he normally transforms, but thanks to this cut you can do something like this. So that helps a lot in my opinion. So right from the start he has better proportions, I think. Even with this thing he does look okay-ish, but it's still not ideal. So the chest, I don't like the chest, like I said, so I wanted to try if I can make it look in a different way. So first thing you would have to do is just pop a pin. So you can pop this whole thing off. As you can see, it's on the pin, and if you examine, one side of the pin is like this, so it has like grooves, and you have to push it from the opposite side. So right now it's loose because I just pulled it and I put this back together just to show you. But what you can do is just find something with a hole. I have this printed part here, and it can be something soft like a styrofoam maybe, and just push it down like this, and as you can see, it should come off. And if it is still stiff, you can just pull it out like this and just put it to the side, because we won't be needing this. We mainly want this part, this black part here, so we won't be needing this thing also. So right now this is the way he looks. We are plugging this back, and so, and I wanted to make the chest work just as it works in in his regular form, just to look at it in a different way. So I made a few copies to see what works, and if you want to get more into detail of how I changed things and why did they end up like they are, I can make a separate video, but I just don't want to make this too long. So here is the part that I came up with, and it just slides on, because you can use different windshields. So this is a transparent blue. It can be printed in many colors. I wanted to find a gray transparent, but unfortunately I could not. So I think my preferable one is black, but I know that many of you like the blue one, the cartoon version, so I will be showing this with the cartoon colors, and not really cartoon, but more like colorful, let's see, and it will be better visible in the more visible in the camera. So I experimented with this part here, and I found the best way is just to make it like clip on and slide. I could make a hole just like the original one, that the metal bar is going through this, but because I wanted to remove it often to swap the windshields and just to test, this is why I did not do it. And as you can see, you can swap also the colors, because those green parts and these black parts are separate, so they are printed separate and glued together. The sticker, of course, is from somewhere else. And the way you do this is you just hook it like this, and you slide this up, and as you can see, it's holding. If you wiggle it very hard, it will come off, but it's revolving like this, and it's just easy way to achieve what I wanted. So now, as you can see, it does not fit because there is a slider inside, and you just have to slide it slightly up and just clip it in, and like that he has a windshield that I wanted him to have. And of course that leaves a gap in car mode, but I will get to that later. And so in my opinion this makes him look a lot better, but there are still some problems. He was still a bit too short for me. It's not a big deal, but I wanted to see if I could get him a bit taller. So I thought that I could change those parts here or here, but it didn't really look like this could be done without major modifications, and I always want my mods to be easy to copy. So I thought that if I could raise him just slightly like this, it wouldn't really change his look that much, but it would add it would make him a bit taller. Sorry, sometimes I forget how to pronounce things in English, so that's And I thought that I could, because this he also needs to transform with no parts forming. That's parts forming is a big no-no for me. So I thought that I could make something here to extend from this peg, but there's very little room. But I noticed that I could probably use this space, so I designed this thing here that you can just clip on. It's very tight, and come on. Okay, and as you can see, it moves like this, and it's not very visible in car mode. It doesn't obstruct movement or anything. And same with this, you just snap it here. Okay, and so this is his regular height. He does have a balance problem right now because that thing is folded, but as you can see, but if you rotate this back, you can do something like this, and it gives him like a 1 centimeter of height, something like this. It's not much, but it's what I want, what I was missing. So as you can see, he is now head to head with Jazz. I don't know how visible it is, but he is just now the scale of those figures, and also the arms and the waist aligned very nicely. So I think that that this project may have been modified to make him smaller, perhaps. Sorry. And here he is with Hound. So they were the same size, so as you can see, it's a big difference. And also of course I want him to transform, so if we can transform him really quick, I will half transform him right now to show. As you can see now, if we fold the windshield, just make sure that this thing is in the correct angle, because I had it the other way around, but as you can see, it works the same. You just have to align this. You have to slide it on this inside slider until this part here goes into this, like, and now it can be plugged in, and as you can see, it's a okay, I have to put it's a nice fit, and there's a hole here, of course. So I did not want this hole, so I made a mechanism similar to his original one. So I made those two parts here that you can just clip, not to mix them up. Okay, you just clip them. Let me see. You just clip them here like this, and they work in the same way as his normal parts. And as you can see, they can just hide in the inside of the leg like this, and when you transform him, you just rotate them up, and they can form this this part here. Of course, if I did not make those cuts, this would be filled out. I could make an extension of this to fill this out, but if you wish, I could make it. I just do not think that that's very necessary for me. And now we just slide this thing here. Make sure that this, oh, wait, went too far, that this thing is in this groove. Okay, and now we just need to rotate everything, hide the head. Okay. Like this, and here he is in car mode. Those are two flaps down here. As you can see, he can row, there is no problem. If you want to see how he looks with those parts filled in, I could probably simulate this. This is the part here. So if you would not make the cuts that I did, as you can see, this part is almost exactly filling out everything. I think it's gonna close a bit more. So this is what you would have. There is a small gap here that it's not very noticeable. I think I could push everything so that this is not that big, but so yeah. So these are the modifications I made. So let's back to the robot mode and sum everything up. So here he is back in robot mode. He has a weapon from a classics version, and it does make him a bit like less stable because a lot of weight is in the front. But as you can see, he can stand well if you balance him correctly. Okay, so this will be a bit of a rant now because right now I'm sitting at home, so I was printing some parts for the hospitals. As you know, the situation is difficult everywhere right now, but just not to get crazy, I wanted to create something, so I made this, and I'm kind of sad that I have to do this, in my opinion, because this is really a nice base to the figure, and I do not know why they did it like this. I also think that parts forming for cliff jumper is unacceptable, and I could design a part to make him not be a parts former, and some people already did, and they did a great work, but for me personally, I do not want to, because I think that this the parts forming is like a fail in engineering, and it's just lazy. So that's why. And also I have something for an upcoming figure. So this is Hoist, and this is Grapple. If I can get him in the frame. And I wanted. Because the Trailbreaker is also coming out, and from the pictures he looks just like Hoist, I mean very similarly, so I wanted to make him taller, because I always saw a Trailbreaker as taller than Hoist. So I made those two parts. They are prototype parts that plug into, because I'm not really sure how a Trailbreaker will end up looking, his feet, so I did not spend too much time on designing the exact looks of this. But as you can see, you can rotate those parts here, and that makes him taller, and that will make Trailbreaker taller. And also for it to hide in robot mode, because there is room, I made it especially so that it will fit. You just have to fold this and fold this, and it will transform with those parts on. So that's something to look forward to in the future. Or you may think that is totally unnecessary, and that's fine. This is just an option. You don't have to do any of this. I just want to give people options. So yeah, I can of course, in theory, print them out and sell them, but right now the going to the post office is difficult, and also I do not want to put a strain on the post, so I will be offering those files, STL files, so you can make this at home, print it at home, or print it somewhere locally. Perhaps your neighbor has a printer or something like this. I think that's the best option for now. So visit my Etsy store if you want to see my other projects, like those weapons. This is Jazz, that has 3D printed weapons that also will be available. This is a Sideswipe that also has 3D printed weapons. And for example, this Brustic has a 3D printed neck that gives him an option to use the siege head, and also removes the collar, and also this gun. So there are many interesting things, in my opinion, that you can look at. And let me know what you think. Let me know what's your favorite color, because like I said, There are many options. There are smoke gray, silver. You can see more pictures on my web page that I will link. So thank you for watching, and see you at my other projects.